How we doing, everybody? I'm here for Who-Bangin Sports Talk. Hope everybody's having a good day. I know it's a little bit late in the day to be doing a video about tonight's game, but this line's been changing. I just felt like doing it, so I think we come out some late night, some late day talk about tonight's game. And for those of you who didn't bet yet, who were a little undecided, maybe this helps a little bit. Hope everybody had a good time watching that game last night. No matter which side you had, it was a good game, I must say. I did have Miami in a first leg of a parlay with Indiana tonight, plus 154. So that was a little bit in doubt. I thought the game was exciting. I thought the Ole Miss quarterback, Chambliss, played a pretty good game. A lot of mistakes were made on both sides. Miami made a lot of mistakes, but they're a tricky team, man. They're the comeback kids, it seems like. Kind of like the Chicago Bears of the NFL. But anyhow, let's talk about this game quickly. We know all the hype about the games. We know about what happened in the first meeting. Eugene 30-20. But if you really peel back the layers a little bit, that game was 20-20 in the fourth. Then we know about the interception, and the really would seal that game. And what a great drive! 12 minutes, 75 yards. 7 points, and then they add the field goal to put it out of reach. But if you just look at that 30-20 score, it's not really indicative of what happened in that game. Let's talk about Oregon just a little bit. Got point spread open at 4 on neutral side, obviously. We're in Georgia tonight. So, it'll be on a fast track in a nice environment inside the Georgia Dome, so it should be nice. They opened up a 4-point neutral site favorite. They went up to 4.5. Then they went down to 3.5 yesterday. We did a show about the games and stuff at Wildcard Weekend on Wednesday night, and it was 3.5 then. Now it's 3. So money came in on Oregon, and then that's not all public money. There's a little bit of a shift in the action, it seems like, towards Oregon. Oregon this year 8-4 against the spread. Illinois is 8-5 against the spread. So, very even teams. Let's just talk quickly about the betting splits. The ones I'm looking at, they get updated every 5 minutes from the site I get them from. They use DraftKings and they use Circa. I think Circa now is kind of becoming the pinnacle of today, which Pinnacle is still one of the sharpest books, and a book that when I really started learning about really true handicapping, when I stopped being like the amateur and just the weekend warrior playing games because I'm watching him and that kind of thing. I learned about Pinnacle and their lines and how sharp and the guys who play at Pinnacle. Circa's become that, I feel, over the last couple of years. Anyway, tonight in the that's just my opinion. Tonight, Oregon +3 at Circa. 23% of the bets only, 66% of the handle. That's some sharp money, some pro, bettors. Those guys that that live and breathe there in the Circa area and in Circa. Those are the guys betting. 66%, 23% only of the bets. So a lot more big bets are coming in on Oregon plus the 3. Conversely, Indiana, as you can figure out, their handle is 34%. 77% of the tickets are on Indiana. I did have it written down what was, and I can't find it, of course, what the splits were on Wednesday, but they were a little bit more evenly spread out. Oregon, like I said, has been getting some money. Even at 4 and 3.5, those betting splits were still a little bit more even than they are today. As far as the total, it's up to 50. Oregon, 73% of the bets, 62% of the handle, where on the under, it's 27% of the bets, 38% of the handle. So a little bit more big money is going in on the under 50. As far as the money line is concerned, it's pretty much even. At plus 146 now, Circa has Oregon. 41% of the bets, 48% of the handle, where on the other side, minus 160, 59% of the bet, 52% of the handle. So the money line splits are a little bit even. Indiana getting a little bit of tick more, 4% more at minus 160. If we switch over quickly to DraftKings, and we'll see if they have DraftKings mobile now too. I mean, that's getting a little bit carried away. We go with DraftKings overall, and we'll see if there's any real difference in these games. Let's see here. All right, so DraftKings has the -3 still, and they have Oregon getting 25% of the handle, 27% of bets. So I was wrong. It isn't that even. It's actually completely opposite. On DraftKings, the public is pounding Indiana. 73% of the money bets, 75% of the money is on Indiana. With the total, DraftKings has knocked it up to 50.5, 50.5 now. The over is getting 66 of the bets, 67% of the handle. So DraftKings people, which is mostly, what they call amateurs or, whatever, Joes, whatever you want to call them, and call us, that's where it's at. Just because you're Joe, so-called a Joe, doesn't mean you're going to be, that you don't know what you're doing. So there's just a little thing that always bothered me, the old pros get Joes. But there is some validity in these splits, and in, sometimes when these lines change and I know how late they change, a lot of times that is big money coming in, and it does make a difference. But it's just a whole other thing. But we won't let me get good off on a tangent. As far as the money line is concerned, Oregon at DraftKings plus 142, getting 34% of the handle, 30% of the bets. Indiana minus 170, so they're a little bit higher on DraftKings as always. The lines are always a little bit higher. 70%, 66% of the handle. I took Oregon in a teaser. Like I told you, I took that parlay. I also just took a teaser tonight just to have action both ways. I didn't bet big money on these games. I'm not the biggest college football guy, as most of you know. College basketball and mostly MLB is my favorite of all favorites. But I did take a teaser tonight. So we had two bets: the Miami Indiana parlay plus 154, and then I took a teaser. See, maybe I get lucky, I get greedy, and hit on both ends. I took a 6-point three-team teaser. I like the 6 point. Actually, I took the 6.5 because it's plus money, plus 130. Listen, if you're taking a 6 point teaser at two teams and you're betting over minus 120, you're never going to get ahead. It's just mathematically. And I'm not the math guy, so I refer to some, real good math guys and guys' names that, a lot of us know, that's I know them personally, but a lot of us know through the industry. They'll tell you that you can't really, if it's really 110 is the optimal number, but it's optimal number in a lot of bets. But my over minus 120 is really a losing proposition. I don't know about the 3-team with the 6 point, but it does come up to a plus 130. If you took the 6.5 point, the 6 point was plus 140. But anyhow, I took the 6.5 points. I took Oregon plus 9.5. I took the over tonight, over 44. I think there's going to be points. I think over 50 is a solid bet. I think it's going to happen what happened last night. There's going to be action. Listen, that first quarter started off a little slow. Before you know it, there was, points scored in the first half, right? 27 points. I think it was 17-10 at the half. So, that over was always not, out of the realm. I grabbed the after that first touchdown when Oregon ran right up the middle and scored, it became 7-3. Not Oregon, Ole Miss, when it became 7-3. I jumped on the live over 48, which I got lucky at the end that it finally went over. But that's what I did last night in that game. But I took Oregon plus 9.5. I took over to 44 in tonight's game. And then as a third leg, I took the Eagles down from 6.5 to pick them. So that's what I did. 6 to plus a half, same thing. To pick them. There's no such thing as a tie in a playoff game. So that's what I got on that game. And listen, it should be a good one. It should be a fun matchup. The look-ahead line I'm seeing is Miami. If they play Indiana, it's 5.5 point in Indiana's favorite. if it's Oregon. It's a 3-point favorite for Miami. I have a funny feeling that Miami definitely could beat either one of these teams 100% in my eyes. They just seem to, to have that comeback. But I know Indiana got all the mojo, all the hype, all the, they're down now to minus 120 to win it all. It was minus one. It was minus 130 Wednesday night when we did our show. Miami was plus 310 before the game yesterday. Now they're plus 180. Not a bad price. If you like Miami, it's not a bad price to take them plus 180 right now. I don't think the money line day of the game is going to be higher than that, unless these Miami injuries, which there were a few, don't know. We're going to have to watch that. Don't know how serious they are and if these guys are going to make it back by the following Monday. So it's a week from this Monday, the 19th, the game. So that's what I got for you on tonight's game. Now, as far as what I mentioned about the draft got all shook up, if you don't know, Chambliss from last night's Ole Miss game, he tried to stay a 6-year eligibility. He was trying not to come out in the draft this year. The NCAA had to approve it. They did not. So he is in the draft. I believe he's probably going to go number 5, I guess, the draft for. I'm not really sure. We can also see, hey, listen, he could be number 3 or 2, depending on, not 2 probably, but number 3, depending if Moore comes out or not. After tonight's game, we're going to know about Moore. If I'd be careful with these guys that are number 2 or so. I guess number 1 is going to probably go to the Raiders unless they just like another quarterback a lot more, which is Mendoza probably. But watch out. I'm a New York guy. I'm a Jet fan. And rookies going to the Jets is like where they don't have a lot of success. It's been a long time since any rookie had success that came out of the Jets organization. And, of course, we do know one, and that's Sam Darnold. That took him 3 teams. I think he was on the Panthers. Oh, he was on the Rams. He was hurt. No, the 49ers, and he was hurt, right? But he had Shanahan as a coach for a little while, which seemed to help him. Then he went to the Panthers, and I think Baker replaced him. I think that's the order it went. And then he went to Minnesota, we know. And then Minnesota, for some reason, didn't keep him, which I thought was a mistake, obviously, with them going with McCarthy, who got hurt. And it still needs – listen, these young guys like McCarthy, like Jackson Dart, all the hype going to them. Dart's another one. These guys, yeah, they might be good. I think Dart's a little small, but anyhow, that's just my thing about him. I think that that's why I like Mendoza. He's a big guy, 6'7". But, I think these guys are still – yes, they could be very good. They're going to be a couple of years away. McCarthy, of course, has a little bit quicker window probably than Dart. But depending on who the coach is going to be for the Giants, they're going to, how Dart comes along, we're going to see. Listen, he did the best he could this year with what he had. I wasn't so sure he should have started it when he did. I thought he should have sat a little bit more, learned a little bit more. But that's another story for another day. But the NFL definitely got shaken up with Chambliss coming out today. So that's the NFL news I got today. I got some capping for tonight's game. Hopefully some of this stuff helps you out. We'll be back on Sunday, like every Sunday, with our college basketball live Who-Bangin hoops by myself and DJ Big Boss, 11 a.m. Eastern time every Sunday. If you look at our members page at Who-Bangin, which is only $4.99 a month, we have picks out every day. We've been really rocking college basketball. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to jinx us, but we had a hell of a week this last week. I even had 2 days where I went 6-0, 5-0. I went 4-1. I went 5-1, and yesterday I went 4-3. And DJ Big same. He had a sweep of 5-0. We've had a good week, but we also know how that goes. But we've been keeping our head above water. We give out a lot of good information. So keep out your eyes on Who-Bangin members page. We get the Rink Report with Dylan. We'll have the live sweat. It'll be starting up pretty soon again with Ix Nizzle. Jimmy Gomez is back in the scene. So we're rocking and rolling here. So you guys keep out, look out for us, like and subscribe and all that nonsense. And we will see you again. Maybe tomorrow I might have some college basketball for you. Just let me tell you, there's 149 games tomorrow. So that's getting a little crazy. But But anyhow, we'll see you Sunday, hopefully. Have a good day. Dami Gunrici for Who-Bangin Sports.